11 p.m., Laredo, Texas. Lincoln Juarez International Bridge. One of the busiest border crossings in the United States. 12,000 vehicles pass through here every single day. Your lane is quiet right now? Then a black SUV pulls up. You already know which one it is. You don't ask the driver his name. You don't ask where he's going. You don't run the plates. You look at him for exactly 1 second and wave him through. 4 seconds. Done. You watch the taillights disappear into the United States. Then your phone buzzes. WhatsApp. A contact saved in your phone as one letter R. One message. Successful. $10,000 coming tomorrow. What just crossed through your lane was 60 kilos of cocaine. Street value $1.8 million. Your cut $10,000. Your annual salary as a CBP officer $65,000. You just made 15% of your yearly income in 4 seconds. But this was not the first time. And this was not even close to the biggest load. To understand how you got here, you have to go back to one conversation 2 years earlier that started with 6 words. I have a friend who can help. 2 years before that WhatsApp message, you are 29 years old. 4 years into the job, you wear the uniform, you show up on time, and you do everything right. You also have $1,400 in your bank account, 2 months of late rent, and a car payment due in 6 days. A childhood friend calls you, someone you grew up with right here on the border, someone whose cousin you played football with, whose mother made you dinner on weekends. He says he just wants to catch up. You meet him at a restaurant. You meet him for dinner, and right at the end, almost like it means nothing, he asks you one question. Which lane do you work on Thursdays? You tell him. You do not think twice about it. 2 weeks later, he calls again. He tells you a white Ford Explorer is going to come through your lane on Thursday evening around 9 p.m. He tells you not to scan it. Just wave it through. He says it one time, cleanly, without hesitation. $2,500 in cash, left in an envelope under your windshield wiper the next morning. You do not think of this as working for a cartel. You think of it as one favor for an old friend. One car, one time. The Ford comes through on Thursday. You wave it through. You go home. The next morning, the envelope is exactly where he said it would be, $2,500 in cash, folded neatly inside. No name, no note, nothing. You use it to pay your car payment. Nobody calls. No alarm goes off. No one looks at you differently at work. Nothing happens at all. That silence is the trap, and you are already inside it. 3 weeks later, he calls again. Same thing, one car, one lane, one wave. Except this time, the number he says is $5,000. You do not say no. You do not even pause. And that is the moment the door closes behind you. Because between 2006 and 2014, approximately 30 CBP applicants admitted on federal polygraphs that they were sent by cartels before they even got the job. You were not sent, you were grown, slowly, by someone who knew exactly how much rent costs and exactly how long it takes a person to stop asking questions. One favor became two, two became 10. And by the time you understood what you had become, you were no longer just waving cars through. You were their eyes, their ears, and their guarantee inside the United States government. By the 18-month mark, this is no longer a favor. This is a job, and you are very good at it. Every single shift, before you even put on your uniform, you open WhatsApp and send R 3 pieces of information: which lane you are assigned to, what time your shift starts, and whether the K9 unit is working that day. That last piece of information alone is worth thousands of dollars to the people on the other side. A drug-sniffing dog at the wrong lane at the wrong time can kill an entire operation. You make sure that never happens. You are the early warning system that no scanner can detect and no security protocol can stop because you are the security protocol. Within minutes of sending that message, your phone shows a photo, make, model, color, and license plate of the vehicle coming through your lane. You memorize it, delete the photo, and go to work. When that vehicle rolls up, you do not make eye contact with the driver. You do not ask a single question. You look at the plate, confirm it matches, and wave it through in 4 seconds. The driver does not know your name. You do not know his. That is exactly how it is supposed to work. Over 5 separate occasions, vehicles passing through your lane carry a combined 1,150 pounds of drugs into the United States. The payments go from $2,500 to $5,000 to $10,000 per load, lifted in cash, or moved through a third party you never meet in person. Prosecutors will later estimate your total at $400,000. For context, across 10 years, DHS employees accepted an estimated $15 million in combined bribes. One agent in a previous case collected $5 million on his own. You are not an outlier. You are part of a system. And you are not alone. At the San Isidro port of entry in California, 2 other CBP officers, Garcia and Bonillo, are running the exact same operation at the exact same time, completely independently of you. They do not know you exist. You do not know they exist. The cartel does not need you to know each other. It just needs each of you to do your 4 seconds. In intercepted cartel communications later recovered by federal investigators, there is a phrase used for agents like you, not a name, not a rank, just a description. The officer in their pocket. That is what you are. That is what you have been for 2 years. And in those 2 years, not one alarm has gone off. Not one supervisor has pulled you aside. Not one investigation has touched your name. You are invisible. You thought you were invisible. You thought you were invisible. But somewhere in a windowless room, an FBI agent had been watching your lane, not for days, not for weeks, for 11 months. And the trap was already closing. What you do not know is that 11 months ago, the FBI Border Corruption Task Force opened a case file. Not on a cartel, on you. They have been watching your lane, logging your shifts, and building a pattern. The task force operates in nearly 24 cities along the US border, and their entire job is finding people exactly like you. They do not rush, they watch. Then they move. The undercover operation works like this. An FBI agent posing as a new cartel coordinator makes contact with R and starts feeding your pipeline with fake loads. October 2024, an undercover vehicle rolls through your lane. You get the WhatsApp photo, you confirm the plate, you wave it through in 4 seconds without a single question. Then it happens again, then a third time. Every single pass is recorded on body camera worn by the undercover agent sitting in the driver's seat, watching you not do your job. A court-authorized search warrant hits your phone the same week. Everything comes out. 11 months of pre-shift messages to R, vehicle photos received and deleted, post-load payment confirmations. Every piece of the operation preserved in your own words in your own hands. You were arrested at your duty station in full uniform by federal agents wearing the same government badge you are wearing. At trial, the prosecutor does not need to explain much. He just plays the footage. The jury watches you wave through 3 vehicles in 4 seconds each without asking a single question, without running a single plate. Then your WhatsApp messages are read aloud in the courtroom, including one from a coordinator that says they are all now playing basketball with a new team that pays up front. You had sent a thumbs up emoji in response. The jury convicts, The sentence range for drug smuggling and bribery of a public official is 10 years to life. Then something else comes out at trial, something that reframes the entire story. CBP's Internal Affairs Division has 200 investigators responsible for 220,000 employees. That is one investigator for every 1,000 people. The FBI, by comparison, has one internal affairs investigator for every 50 agents. And James Tomshek, the head of CBP's Internal Affairs from 2006 to 2014, stated publicly that DHS deliberately controlled the number of corruption arrests to avoid what he called political liability. The agency whose job was to catch you was under instructions to limit how many people like you it found. Of the 140 CBP agents identified as corrupt since 2004, 144 either pleaded guilty or were convicted at trial. That is a 96% conviction rate. And investigators say the true number of corrupt agents is still unknown because the system designed to find them was never built to look too hard. This is not a story about one bad agent who made bad choices. Across 10 years, DHS employees accepted $15 million in combined bribes. 30 cartel plants admitted on federal polygraphs that they sought CBP employment specifically to smuggle. The hole in the border is not a gap in the fence. It is a person in a uniform, standing in a lane, who already knows which car to wave through before it even pulls up. The cartels do not need to break through the border, they just need 4 seconds. If you want to understand how power actually corrupts, the systems, the silence, and the money subscribe.